Well, I'm on the farm today, and we're not cutting or baling hay or anything like that, but as my mother would say, I got a crow to pick with the weather guessers. And she would say, with regards to me, she'd say, I've got a crow to pick with you. And so when we baled or tried to bale the tough grass over there around my barn, I looked for a good 4-day, 5-day window to cut that stuff and bale it. And I'm not the weather expert. That's not my day job. And I depend on the guys whose day job is forecasting the weather. And they were wrong. Just about every day of their forecast was wrong, and they've been that way all summer. And I'm not the only haymaker that has been frustrated with the forecasting and the lack of accuracy this year. And I know the weather changes and that kind of thing, but these the weather forecasters really let the haymakers down in this part of the country this year. You know, they've called for sunny skies and it's rained. They've said rain at 7 o'clock at night and it comes at 3 o'clock. And lower humidity, then the humidity's, you know, really, really high. And I know it's hard on one level to predict the weather, but we have such technology available today. I have to believe that it's permeated the weather forecasting business. And so it seems to me that when you go to look at a forecast, that it would just update almost by the minute. But there were times when I would look at the forecast and it would be showing sunny skies, no rain, and it would be raining. And I mean, that's just not acceptable. They have to do a better job than that of you know, forecasting the weather. And so, you know, you stake your business, which in our case is haymaking, on the weather, and they get it wrong. And it's just it's the worst I've ever seen. And I just should think that if your full-time day job is being a weather forecaster, that you would be engaged in updating the forecasts all day long. And even the weather channels, you know, you tune in to see the clouds and where things are going with the highs and low pressure systems and things like that. And they're talking about, you know, floods from, I don't know, 6 months back, or they're doing something other than just giving you a quality forecast. And I think also that they show the forecast on their map in a very localized area, but they need to back up and they really need to zoom out and spend some time talking about where the weather's coming from. And I think they used to do that. And, you know, they'd say, well, you know, we've got a hurricane building off the shore of Florida, and up here, you know, coming from the northwest, there's a high pressure system coming down, and it's going to clear out the skies for 3 days or you know, something like that. And you can kind of get a feel, irregardless of reading the text of a forecast on a website, you can kind of get a feeling of where the weather's going and, you know, what that trajectory is, and you can kind of factor that into your, in our case, into your haymaking. But what they do is you turn on some of these weather channels, and they're talking about something that has nothing to do with the weather at the moment. I mean, it's like they can't even carve out, 10 or 15 minutes to give you a great overall picture of what the weather's doing or gonna do. Really, they need to do a 10-day forecast, not a weekend forecast. It needs to be more than a couple of days, again, to give you an idea of what the trend is on the weather. And today, the wind, when I looked at the forecast this morning, the wind was supposed to be minimal. It's just breezy and blowing out here all afternoon, and it shows sunny skies, not partly cloudy skies, sunny skies. And I look, and I'm thinking, if I'm a haymaker, I'm really nervous. And moreover, the humidity is like up near 70% right now, and you got to have low humidity to bale hay, and you got to have a breeze. You got to have really good sunlight to get hay in dry. And when we tried to do that teff grass field over there, it seemed like once I got the hay down, I was plagued with not mechanical breakdowns per se, although I did have one that I believe I've talked about in the video, but it didn't hold in a previous video, but it didn't hold me up. And but the humidity was so high, but it was forecast not to be like that. And I don't know, I just, it's enough to it's got me rethinking how I'm going to be approaching hay in 2026, because I'm not sure I can totally depend. I can't totally depend on the weather forecasters, because they're spending too much time talking about everything but weather, and this one really gets me. We as haymakers are really trying to find that window that we want to get in, and they will spend what seems like an eternity talking about how hot it feels. It's going to be 85 degrees, but it feels like it's going to be 93. It's 93 degrees we're forecasting, but it's going to feel like it's 107. I'm not sure how that helps anything, because, if it's hot, it's hot. And we know what summertime heat feels like. You don't have to tell us what it feels like. Just tell us what it's going to be, and then we'll dress accordingly. And spend a little less time on, it feels like it's going to be 115. And instead, give us real-time forecast. Give us the big picture, zoom out, as some people used to say that I worked with, 60,000 feet, and give us that forecast of the whole area. Let us see where the fronts are coming and how they're merging together and what the potential impact is. And we can just about figure out whether we need to be baling hay or not. But if all you're doing is talking about a flood from 10 years ago, or you're talking about it's going to feel like it's 115 when it's 95 degrees. Spend a little more time on the things that really matter when it comes to weather, instead of some of this peripheral stuff. And it has cost us dearly in hay. Here this year on my teff grass field out there. It just makes you really gun shy about baling the hay when they say, well, it's going to be sunny skies, but you're not too sure about that because you see clouds gathering and the humidity's up, it's not down. And so there's a reason that, haymakers refer to the forecasters as weather guessers, because it just seems like these days that's what's going on. And with all this AI and technology and real-time everything, it just seems to me that they could update their maps, update their website information much better. They could tell us, an hour before it rains that it's going to rain, and maybe we don't go out into the field. Maybe we don't ted that hay out where it'll really get soaked. Or maybe we hit the field sooner to get the hay off the field than maybe what we would normally do. And so that's kind of my crow to pick with the weather guessers. We'll talk to you later.